Viewer discretion is advised.
But will be completely ignored.
You spend time with your family?
Sure I do.
Good. Because a man that doesn't spend time with his family can never be a good man.
Take my latest run-in with Batsy. It was just last night, as the entire country was tuning into its favorite talk show.
I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger.
And good evening. Welcome to the debut, the premiere of the Wrestling Asylum, starring me, Eric the Joka. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, be notified for all my content. And please make sure to follow the entire OTTR podcast family. And guess what? You can keep up with them on the IWN mobile app. Don't forget to tell your friends to download it. Otherwise, I might have to just electrify you. Well, folks, welcome to the debut edition of the Wrestling Asylum. We got a lot to get to today. So, two topics that are still emanating in the wrestling world. But the first one, we are still talking about 8 days later. I am talking about the return of Bray Wyatt at Extreme Rules. And what a way to make a return. But first, we have to somewhat backtrack just a nip. It was exactly a little over a year ago where Bray was released. And for weeks now, the rumors of his return. As you can see, everyone from the Firefly Funhouse came to life, including The Fiend. But then, as a full house in Philadelphia roared and chanted his name, the infamous door to the Firefly Funhouse appeared. And well, as you can tell on the screen, the familiar lantern lit in blue light, and a shout out to the late great Brody Lee, an ominous figure emerged with a samurai looking mask. And then, to the roar of the fans with a holy shit chant, well, we all got our wish. Bray Wyatt had returned to the WWE. He was here with the familiar closing of that infamous cut from his first time as the leader of the Wyatt family. Now, like I said before here, we need to take a moment to step back. He had been released a year ago, but then when rumors started to swarm over Marvel writer Robert Fee being signed to the WWE and a relationship with Bray Wyatt, well, fans started to speculate and hope. For the last several weeks, we had QR codes showing up on Raw and SmackDown. And as you saw in the closing moments at Extreme Rules, well, there was only one dramatic way for Bray Wyatt to return. 2 nights later on Raw, we would get a bit of a more in-depth look at his return. including what was happened to the Firefly Funhouse. Now, to me, I loved the setup to the return of Bray Wyatt. I got to tell you, it was perfection. If you don't know who Robert Fee is, he's a Marvel writer. He helped do a couple of things on the streaming service. And if I have to tell you, well, I might just have to electrocute you later in the show. I'll spare you for now. Now, we heard inside the Firefly Funhouse, covered in cobwebs, all of the characters, from the Buzzard to Ramblin' Rabbit to Abby the Witch, all covered in cobwebs and looking to be destroyed. Oh, Mr. K9, oh, that's right. Oh, I do too, man. Christy, hi. Welcome to the Asylum, my dear. Well, as things look pretty grim inside the funhouse, we panned to the TV that Bray used to stand behind. And well, an old familiar, kind of staticky picture fading in and out look came with Bray in that samurai mask. And you could make out a couple of key words saying who killed the world and said revel in what you are. It left an ominous feeling as to what would take place later on Raw. But as we found out, Bray would tune up and turn up on SmackDown. He did 2 nights ago with the new entrance music by the band Code Orange, who also created the former man known as Aleister Black's entrance music. I gotta say, Bray's new music is phenomenal. It's great. And the band, perfect. And just as he entered at Extreme Rules, the doorway to the Firefly Funhouse appeared, covered in cobwebs, light emanating from it. And then the door busted open with Bray and the familiar lantern, lit up in blue, once again, paying homage to the late Brody Lee, the Exalted One. But Bray was not dressed as we would expect him. Bray came out in street clothes. And for the very first time, this was something special. This was something different. The fans were loud, cheering, excited to see him come home after a year. And then, as the arena was covered by the Fireflies, well, Bray took the mic and cut one of the most passionate promos I've seen in a very long, long time. To me, this was a side of Bray that had not been seen before. Fans were all over the world left wondering, what would he say? What was on his mind? Where was this all going? Would we bear witness to the arrival of the Wyndham Six? Now, we could sit here and argue that till Judgment Day, my fellow wrestling fans and inmates of the Asylum. But Bray cutting this promo, and Mr. K9 in the chat, yes, I was. KB, thank you. Welcome to the Asylum. Brittany, welcome, welcome, welcome to my Asylum. Now, the promo itself, you've seen it in the chat, had fans almost in tears. Now, Bray took us on a recap of the last year, from being released out of nowhere from the WWE to doing other projects. But then he started to hit home with people that when he was down, oh, the godfather of the OTTR podcast has entered the Asylum. Welcome, Blackheart. It's good to see you, my friend. Well, let's put it this way. Thank you for tuning in, my dear. Bray hit something close here to me. That anytime he felt down, he would have fans coming up to him, thanking him for saving their lives. Well, then he in turn thanked the Fireflies, the fans, for saving his. He mentioned that he lost 2 important people over the course of the year. We all know one of them being the late exalted one, Mr. Brody Lee. Shout out to Brody Lee. Rest in peace, my friend. Now, here's where it gets real interesting. Because nobody would think Bray would cut a promo like this.
You kidding me? Are you kidding me?
No, we're not. Bray touched, for the first time in his promos, raw human emotion, passion, a sense of re-energized, and a sense of purpose again. But then, on the Tron, with the arena going black once again, the masked figure appeared once again to deliver an ominous warning to Bray Wyatt. And we all know that it was Bray under that mask. And to take away from it, he said, leave the past and the future behind. And that Bray may not know, but he would soon. This seems to me, and I throw it to the chat here with the inmates. Tell me if you agree or not, that Bray Wyatt will be battling his inner demons as the first thing coming back to the roster. Am I right? Oh, yes, Christy. He certainly bared his soul. Something that Bray had never done. For the first time. Brittany, you know better than to keep the keys and let them go missing, my dear. Bray never let that side of him out. Now, there's speculation online that, and again, this is what I'm only reading, my fellow inmates, is that Bray developed a character of, well, mental health level issues, which I like. You all know what I deal with. Now, some are saying he's going to be battling within himself. Who could play the man in the mask for Bray to battle when that time comes? I mean, we have the characters. The podcast Pod Mob Father. Thank you for giving her a fair warning, my friend. Shout out to the warden, Mr. Blackheart. Now, it seems to me that for the first time in a long time, we are seeing the creative genius that Bray Wyatt truly is. We've all known that he was to begin with, but this is on a level that we have never seen before. And I will say this. I cannot wait. I know you can't wait either. So what's going to happen Friday? Wait a minute. Thank you, Brittany. Oh, I totally agree, Christy. He will freak a lot of people out. But he's a genius. And with the writer from Marvel, the sky is the limit. Now, are we going to bear witness to the members of the Firefly Funhouse's arrival for real? That remains to be seen. But here's what I can tell. We all better be in for one hell of a ride. So I ask you, before we move on, where do you think this leads? I think to coercion. Oh my. I don't know about that, good sir. Now,
I'm sorry you had to see this.
uh-oh. I think a lot of you are in trouble now. Now, here's where I think this leads. We have heard speculation that Bo Dallas, his brother, will return to the WWE. Could Bo play the role of the man in the mask in order for Bray to battle his demons? Maybe. But I wonder just who the others could be. Could Alexa Bliss? Congratulations. Could Alexa Bliss return to Bray Wyatt's side? Maybe. We all know her time aligning with the Fiend. Oh, yes, Christy, you are all in trouble now. To me. Oh, Two-Face, how I've missed you. Always split, are we? Now, the question still remains. Who will Bray have to face first? Will he face his former self in the Fiend? Ramblin' Rabbit? Could he face? Oh, Issa Dawn would be a good choice for Abby the Witch. We have always wondered. We've always wondered who Sister Abigail was. And now we've got a couple of ideas to play with as to who could portray her, or even Abby the Witch. I definitely like where this is going. Yes, 8, 6, 7, 5, 3. No. We're not talking about. Really, Christy? Seth ain't.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Not even close. I would not put him anywhere near a title picture. Let's see where the story plays before we put him in the hunt for gold. Because if you put him in too soon, here's what'll happen. It'll get a little boring real quick. We want that slow burn. And as we know, Bray's on SmackDown. Seth's on Raw. So, who's gonna be each carnation of the Firefly Funhouse characters in human form? You in the chat have mentioned a couple of them. I'm very much intrigued myself. But the question remains, who's gonna be the one to put on the samurai mask in order for Bray Wyatt to face his final demon? And yes, Mr. K9, I agree. Christy, don't be throwing Seth's name randomly out there. Come on. I mean, after all, we are in the Asylum, don't get me wrong. But
You do something like that, I mean, that Jane, that would just make me so mad!
you might not want to make me angry, or you might just feel the shock from me.
Oh, shucky, ducky, quack, quack.
That That's right. Now, stick with me on this. Before we move on, one last thing. Bray Wyatt. Within the year, I think, will eventually chase gold. For right now, let's enjoy the story we're about to see. I can't wait to find out where it leads. And an interesting fact, too. Less than 24 hours after that promo on SmackDown, it almost got 6 million views out the gate on all social media. So, shout out to the creative genius of Bray Wyatt. So now, I ask you, my fellow inmates, where do you want to see this story go? Who do you predict to portray the Buzzard, the incarnation of the Fiend, Abby the Witch? But who will put on the samurai mask? And could we? Ooh, that's right. Many have mentioned, and rightfully so. Yes, in the chat. I agree. Bo Dallas would be an excellent choice, and the return of Bray's friend and ally, Alexa Bliss, would make an excellent choice. Ooh, Dijakovic. I'd like that. But will Bray tap into his leader of the Wyatt family look? I mean, we hear the music cut with his new logo. It's remaining to be seen. But one thing is sure, and I can say this without any hesitation. Strap yourselves in. It's gonna be a hell of a good ride. And it's amazing we're still talking about it 8 days later.
Yeesh, Pengers, how corny can you get?
My thoughts exactly. Ooh, Joe Gacy and the Dyad. It would have to make sense and be done in such a way for Bray to really sink his teeth in. And I mean really. Because if you think about it, we don't just want to throw random. Alexa Bliss and Bo Dallas make sense because, well, one's his brother. One has a history with him during his time as the Fiend, as we all know. I do not want Bray Wyatt anywhere near championship gold right now. And I mean anywhere. Interesting indeed. But then again, we are dealing with the mad genius of Bray Wyatt.
Oh, God, there is no fucking drummer better than Neil Peart!
It ain't easy being cheesy.
Cheesy. That's right. And now we go to the second story of the week. One that we've all waited for. That's right. Orange Cassidy has done it. A day one OG in All Elite Wrestling. Finally defeated the bastard Pac. As you can see, Pac tried to steal the side bell hammer, gave it to the ref, and then tried to use it again. Except this time, Pac was forced to eat not one, but 2 orange punches after referee Ginsburg was able to convince Orange Cassidy not to use the hammer. And as you can see, Orange Cassidy, and there's the second punch, hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3. And much to the roar of the Toronto crowd, our second ever All-Atlantic champion, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. And what better way to celebrate with the orange confetti? And as Excalibur always loves to say, you gotta give the people what they want. Now, a couple of interesting facts about all this. This rivalry between the Bastard Pac, exactly, I know you can't. A lot of fans are still in shock, including those here in the Asylum. Nobody expected Freshly Squeezed to ever carry gold in AEW. But as we saw on Wednesday last week, he proved everybody wrong. Well done, Orange. I'm proud of you. Now, let's backtrack a little to find out how we got here. This rivalry between these two has been going on for months. We all know that Pac became the inaugural champion back at the Forbidden Door pay-per-view in June and has had defenses all over the world. Over the last several weeks, Orange has tried to get inside the Bastard's head. And several weeks ago, even called his shot when during a promo with the Bastard Pac, Orange Cassidy would land the orange punch and inform Pac his time was almost up. Well, this match as a whole from start to finish, I loved every second of it. It had everything you could wish for and more. The speed, the pace, the intensity these two threw at one another had the Toronto crowd on their feet. Those are the types of matches you want, especially when you come to the Asylum. You always want those high hits and intensity. Otherwise, it gets very droll and boring. And then I got to put up with hearing, oh, Batsy, Batsy. I don't want to deal with that pointy-eared troll.
Man, shut your bitch ass up. Get up.
Bro really pulled the blicky on her ass.
That's right. So, let me ask you this. Now with Orange Cassidy finally proving the naysayers wrong, we also know that if it wasn't for Mr. Danhausen stopping Pac, Pac might still be champion. Might being the key word.
What?
Now, an interesting fact and photos emerged on Twitter and other social media after the cameras went off. Orange Cassidy's good close friend, Chris Statlander, came to celebrate with Orange Cassidy. Shout out to Chris Statlander. I hope she's healing up nicely, my dear. And you're back in the ring soon. We miss you here at the Asylum. Now, we also know that this week, Orange Cassidy has a shot to be Orange 2 belts. That's right. The rematch from right here in Buffalo a month ago for the Trio's Gold. The Bastard Pac, Penta, and Ray Phoenix Death Triangle will battle the best friends in Orange Cassidy this week on a Tuesday night edition of Dynamite. Agreed, Chris Statlander definitely needs to stay healthy upon her return. This week, it will be Trios action. Death Triangle defends the Trios Gold against the new Atlantic champion Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta, Chuck Taylor, the best friends. Can Orange Cassidy become the second member of the roster to hold 2 belts?
What?
Yes. Pac was the first. I mean, he was the inaugural All-Atlantic champion, and he also holds Trios Gold. Could we see the same thing happen with Orange Cassidy? I ask you, my fellow inmates, what do you think? I'm intrigued. Now, overall, to me, to have this main event the show, great decision. Magnifique. Perfect. Wednesday night, Orange Cassidy solidified himself as a major player, a major star. We all know he already was one, but in my opinion, good choice to have that close the show compared to what I'm going to discuss later. So I ask you in the chat here at the Asylum, what did you think of Orange Cassidy shocking the world? What was your take on it? Were you excited? Like, ugh? Or did it put a smile on your face like it did mine? I leave that to you. It was very unexpected, I will admit that. Very much so. But did you think it should have been the main event? I mean, I was okay with it compared to what we saw earlier in the night, which I will get to later. Because believe me, you're not going to want to miss that. Let's just say somebody is getting electrocuted tonight. Okay, Shiz. I agree. Could have been co-main event. Yeah. I mean, to everybody in the chat, anybody else agree or disagree? I mean, truth be told, co-main event would have been the right way to go. But it was definitely unexpected. I enjoyed it. It made it interesting because you didn't see it coming. And that's what's so beautiful about professional wrestling. The moments you don't see coming. So, with that said, as we go to commercial break, I want you to think about one thing. Was Orange Cassidy the right choice? Or do you believe somebody else? After all, Orange Cassidy is a day one talent, and he's been overdue. With that, I think it's time to go to commercial break. But make sure you don't want to miss this.
Listen, I'll save you some gas. I'm just going down to the stationery store, then I'll be right back. You don't gotta follow me like yesterday. All right?
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
This is RCW Heavyweight Champion Mysterious Q, and I want to give a special respected shout out to Off the Top Rope Podcast for the sponsorship. Thank you, and you are respected.
What's good? This your boy Kenneth Stones, aka Kofi Weast, and one half of the Dirty Hills, man. You already know what it is. I'm here to say what up to Off the Top Rope, man. Make sure y'all go follow, like, and subscribe, man. Make sure y'all go look into all these stuff, man. Y'all like wrestling, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. Shout out to my son Blackheart all over there, man. Off the Top Rope, you are Dirty Hills approved.
Viewer discretion is advised, but will be completely ignored.
Spend time with your family?
Sure I do.
Good. Unless a man that doesn't spend time with his family can never be a good man.
Take my latest run-in with Batsy. It was just last night, as the entire country was tuning into its favorite talk show.
I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger.
Why is bacon called bacon and cookies called cookies if you cook bacon and bake cookies?
Ryan, please not now. I'm trying to sleep!
Do clothes in China just say, made down the road?
Doc, I don't know. The government says we can't leave our house anymore because all the questions he asks is a threat to society. I mean, look at Jimmy. He's out for the count.
If your shirt isn't tucked into your pants, is your pants tucked into your shirt? If you're invisible and you close your eyes, can you see through your eyelids? Dude, a fire truck is actually a water truck.
Mr. Bingle has left the building. They fucking made me.
And welcome back to the Asylum. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and be notified for all my content. And check out my friends at the OTTR podcast. And make sure you download that IWN app, or I might just electrify you instead. Now, let's dive deeper into my asylum, shall we? Every week, we will go through 3 different wings at random. Will we analyze a match? Will we review the history of a pro wrestler's career? Or will I pick a moment in pro wrestling history and book it in wrestling's what ifs? Well, today we take the wing of analyze this. And what better match to kick it off with than Seth Rollins and Randy Orton at WrestleMania 31. But when we walk down this This is a match that had two defining moments to Seth Rollins' career. But in order to get to the match with Randy Orton, we must first do a little bit of a backtrack onto how we got to this match at a sold-out Levi's Stadium with almost 77,000 fans, in a match that went 15 minutes almost, bell to bell. Two of the greatest in the ring, and this match would give Seth the first of two phenomenal moments in his career. Of course, we had to put up with J&J security. If you don't remember the Authority storyline, I'll give you a brief breakdown. But as you see, Seth and Randy had great chemistry in this matchup. One for the ages. And is a match that is still talked about to this day. Oh, Seth, you do Mr. J so proud. And that infamous snake. Ugh. I can't stand them. Almost as much as I can't stand that pointy-eared night-flying rodent. And that ding-dong bird partner of his. Now, as you can tell, Seth took everything Randy threw at him and more throughout the match. Of course, J&J security eat an RKO for their troubles. And Seth got a curb stomp, but couldn't put Randy away. And then the first of two moments that have set. And here it is, the RK out of nowhere for the three. And Randy picked up the victory. Now, why did I choose this match? Because it is a moment in pro wrestling history that is still talked about. But how did we get there? Well, as you saw the match itself play out in front of your eyes, let me give you a little detour. Back in time, everybody remembers the Authority storyline in 2014, leading to Seth Rollins becoming Mr. Money in the Bank of that summer. But as the events going into Survivor Series of 2014, there was dissension in the Authority between Randy Orton and Seth Rollins. A little bit of jealousy, if you will. Of course, it all led to one night in November of 2014 where Seth curb stomped Randy into cinder blocks, putting him out until Fastlane 2015, where Randy would return. And after Fastlane, Randy started playing that mind game of, water under the bridge. I got my anger at you out of my system. But in early March of 2015, weeks before WrestleMania 31, Randy finally had enough. And his plans started to pay out. He would issue a challenge to the self-proclaimed architect. And the following week on Raw, Seth would accept. At WrestleMania 31, we saw a match where these two men duked it out, threw everything at each other. But towards the end, as you saw in the clip earlier, the RKO on Seth Rollins set him up for what many say was one of the best moments of Seth's career. Why? Because as Seth went for the second curb stomp to try and skin the Viper, Randy was able to shove Seth up in the air to an amazing amount of height and hit the RKO out of nowhere for the three. But wait a minute. I said there were two moments. There was. Well, I saw Seth lose, as we all did. I knew that later that night, the second moment of Seth's career would define and set the pace for his career as we know it today. During the main event of WrestleMania 31 for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship between the defending champion Brock Lesnar and the challenger and winner of the 2015 Royal Rumble, as Michael Cole called it, the heist of the century. As both Brock and Roman were down, Seth would strike, rushing down the aisle to the ring and cash in his Money in the Bank contract, making it a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth was able to land a curb stop on both men as he went for a second one on Brock. Brock was able to counter and pick Seth up and almost hit the F5, but Roman successfully hit a vicious spear on Brock, causing Brock to drop Seth Rollins, with Brock rolling to the outside. It allowed Seth Rollins to capitalize and hit the curb stomp and not even having to pin the World Heavyweight Champion. Seth pinned Roman Reigns and became the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And as the fireworks and music rang loud at Levi's Stadium, Seth Rollins would swing the belt over his head in celebration. The heist of the century. Fans were shocked. Fans were in awe. Some fans were even ticked off. Let's just say there were some fans, and there were clips on social media where one fan basically broke his own TV. But, well, who cares? It was the greatest moment of Seth's career. Exactly, Christy. And that's what made it so unique. It was ironic.
Powerhouse Hobbs! Oh, boy.
That's exactly what some fans did because they were PO. They wanted Roman to have his moment. But here's why I analyzed this particular match. Since Seth Rollins basically broke up the Shield to start the Authority storyline, Seth has been on a wave of momentum carving his own career. It all started when he faced Randy Orton at WrestleMania 31. And later that night, cashed in the Money in the Bank to become champion. So if you think about it, and I mean really think about it, look back at that match. Seth truly did lose. Yeah, he lost to the Viper, but he won way more. He became world champion. And for almost all of 2015, had amazing title defenses. He even defended the World Heavyweight Championship against an icon known as Sting.
Oh, God!
Yes. But they say sometimes karma has a funny way of coming around. And it would for Seth. During a live event in a tables match against Kane, as Seth attempted to powerbomb the Big Red Machine, Seth would end up injuring his leg and be forced to vacate the World Heavyweight Championship and wound up missing WrestleMania 32 in Dallas. Since that time, no one cashed in at WrestleMania. Seth has been the only pro wrestler in the WWE to successfully cash in at WrestleMania. No one's done it. He capitalized at the right time. And look at his career now. He has been tag champ, Universal champ, WWE champ. And as we saw, most recently on Raw, he's the new United States champion. So Seth Rollins Mr. J wants to your defining moment, and you arrived as a major star at WrestleMania 31. The Joka gives you 2 whoopee cushions way up. Way up. So let me ask you in the chat, was this the defining moment of Seth's career? Oh, and an interesting fact just came across my ears from a fellow inmate. The second time Seth won the WWE Championship, he pinned Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank 2016. But it would be moments later where the man we know as John Moxley, then Dean Ambrose, would cash in his Money in the Bank contract he won earlier that night and become WWE champion. That's right. No one, my fellow inmate, has ever cashed the briefcase at WrestleMania but Seth. So let me propose this question to you. Is this Seth's coming out party? Courtney, hi, welcome my fellow inmate at the Asylum. Hope you are feeling better, my dear, and to see you soon.
And here's the man who puts a smile on your face, whether you...
So, was WrestleMania 31 Seth Rollins' coming out party? I think so.
Respectfully.
Exactly. And the reason I say it is this. He had a career-defining moment when he got hit with that RKO, but the one that basically made it for Seth was cashing in at WrestleMania. Because no WrestleMania had ever seen a Money in the Bank contract winner cash in until Mr. Rollins. With that said, it's Shar in the chat, the queen of the Pod Mob family. And I'm glad to hear you're doing better, my dear. Absolutely, Christy. It was Seth's coming up party. Thank you, Shar, for coming to the Asylum, my dear. It is good to see you. I hope you are feeling well today. But now...
Murder handspring elbow. Oh, my God. Up and over. Nobody...
Oh, that's right. But now... Ooh, the pointy-eared night rat has come to my asylum. And now I have him in the electric chair. This week, you, Tony Khan, are strapped to my electric chair. Oh, I'm going to enjoy this. Tony Khan, you have basically been shitting the bed with how you've been booking Ring of Honor as of late. Now, I'm not trashing you for the 2 Ring of Honor pay-per-views. You did great with those. However, you have been doing something that I don't like very much. And you've pissed Mr. J off. Oh, yes, Courtney. He's strapped in nice and tight. And his answers defy just how much voltage I turn it up. Oh, yes. It's time to electrocute Tony Khan.
Man, shut your bitch ass up. Get up.
Bro really pulled the blicky on her ass.
So here's why I'm putting you, Tony Khan, in the electric chair today. Back in March, prior to Revolution, you announced the purchase of Ring of Honor. Since then, you've done okay with some things. Crowning Mercedes Martinez as the ROH Women's World Champion. Shout out to her. I heard she's got a clean bill of health now and healed from whatever injuries she had and ready to defend. And somebody tweeted her the other day wanting to step up. A certain zombie. I wonder who that could be. Abaddon wants a shot at Miss Martinez for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. Now, here's why I'm pissed off. Tony Khan, here in Buffalo, you had Wheeler Yuta, the pure Ring of Honor champion. Bobby, hello. Wheeler Yuta defend in the main event here in my hometown of Buffalo. The ROH Pure Championship, to which Daniel Garcia won. As we all know, Daniel was torn between Jericho and his jack-off association society, and Daniel Bryan telling him he's a pro wrestler. Shockingly, weeks ago, Jericho won the Ring of Honor World Championship from Claudio Castagnoli. What the fuck is wrong with you, Tony?
You kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Oh, yes. Now, while from a business standpoint, I get you looking for your TV deal. I think I need to turn the voltage up a little bit and just electrify you a little for that part. But here's where I'm really pissed off. Royally pissed off. And it is this. For weeks, you have had Garcia teaming with Bryan Danielson and playing babyface with the crowd. That would be intriguing, Bobby. But here's the problem. Something that upsets me. Uh-oh. The boss, the warden, is handling the asylum. We'll discuss that soon enough, Christy. Don't you worry. Right now, I'm cussing out Tony for his booking of ROH. But that part is coming too with this. Tony Khan on Dynamite. During the show, you had Jericho Danielson 3. I figured, well, Danielson would be due. And instead, you had Garcia hit the ring out, and the fans hope he'd hit Jericho, which he did. And then he blasted Daniel Bryan and sided again with Jericho. I am not taking it easy on Tony Khan, Christy. This is bullshit. Bullshit. Tony Khan, since you have bought ROH, you have done this much good with it. You're basically spitting in day one Ring of Honor fans' face. That's what I think about that. And I'm going to tell you why. From a business standpoint, Jericho as champion, I get it. But I'm sick of this sports entertainment society. Matt Menard and Angelo Parker, their names sound like they're two porn stars from the 70s. And Anna Jay sounds like nails on a chalkboard.
Well, you say tomato, I say tomato.
Yeah, I went there. Ty and Sammy, well, oh no, I'm not taking it easy on that man. Not today. Not today. Yes, he does, Courtney. Oh, Bobby, I think a lot of people want him to lose. Oh, absolutely. If anyone, any OG from Ring of Honor, if it's not Danielson, if it's not Claudio, it should be Dalton Castle, which we're going to get this week on Dynamite. Live this Tuesday on TBS at 8, a special Tuesday edition. Now, back to you, Mr. Khan. I've got more to say about you before I electrocute your ass. Stop spitting in the face of hardcore OG Ring of Honor fans. I get you want to get the casual fan to start tuning in, but if you want the loyal ROH fans who faded away, stop. And right now, Tony, I'm not blaming the talent. I'm blaming you for this. I don't know the updates on what happened since that infamous media scrum following All Out. But I am going to warn you. You let a fox in your hen house, and you better get your head out of your ass and use the veterans and people around you to start helping you clean it up and turn things around. Do you want to be labeled WCW 2.0? Or better yet, I'll give you a better one. You broke a lot of walls when this whole thing started. Do you really want a monopoly in pro wrestling again? Get your head out of your ass. Get your house in order. I'll give you this. I love what you're doing with MJF. But overall, get your head out of your ass, Tony. Do not cause wrestling to be monopolized again, or it's going to be your ass. Believe me, you will be held responsible for this. Now, as far as the Elite and the whole thing with Punk go, if anyone did not deserve to be suspended, Kenny Omega damn sure did. We all know that he was trying to rescue a dog. And I don't know if a lot of you know about this, but Mr. J saw on social media Mr. Omega sporting a bite mark on his arm from a certain steel asshole. Yeah, I said it. Exactly. Wrestling needs to flourish. Tony Khan, clean up your goddamn house. So, I'm going to hit you with a shitload of voltage right now just because I want to. Oh, Tony, maybe this just might put your head out of your ass. You got one chance to fix this, because I can already tell you, I'm anticipating one day coming up, dear old daddy is going to be pissed off with you. And guess what? He's going to show up. He won't show up on camera, but he's going to make a phone call. And you and him are going to have a very long chat. Mr. J would not mind being the fly on the wall for that one, ladies and gentlemen. But, Tony, do us a favor. Because now I'm going to hit you where it counts. Buy out CM Punk's contract and get him out of the company. Because what you let happen at that goddamn press conference was embarrassing, you son of a bitch. You let your new champion behave in an unprofessional, disrespectful manner and basically walk all over you. What happened? Did your balls fall off? Or did you leave them in your mama's purse? Or did you leave them in the office? Or did they even drop yet? I wonder. If it was Joka, I would have stopped that thing dead in its goddamn tracks. And I don't care if you work behind the stage, Philip Brooks. You don't deserve to. I hoped 7 years would have humbled you. But I guess Triple H was right. And so was Max. Ouch. Ooh, Courtney. Ooh, a woman after my own heart on that one. Oh, yes. A skunk indeed. Now, Tony. You better get Ring of Honor on track. I better see Dalton Castle shock everybody on Dynamite Tuesday. You want a TV deal? That's fine. And yes, as far as you're booking Moxley to carry the load, I'm cool with it. But as far as Ring of Honor is concerned and the issues following the controversial press conference at All Out, you need to be electrocuted for this.
You know, kids, we've got an item here no home should be without. The laughter-activated electric chair. Yes, sir, the merest titter or guffaw starts the chair's generator revving up towards maximum zappage. Harley?
Oh, Tony.
Ha, ha, ha.
That's right. So, Tony, I hope you take this warning and do something with it. Because if you don't, the fans will turn on you. Oh, absolutely. Moxley is carrying the company, and I love seeing it. Now, no thanks to you, CM. Punk. Junk. Funk. Whatever you want to call them. You screwed us out of one particular dream match. You against Omega. And I take issue with you on that one, Tony. Get your affairs in order. Because if you visit my electric chair again, well, let's just say I'm going to fry your sorry ass until you're burnt to a crisp. As far as I'm concerned, you are spitting in the legacy of ROH. Knock it off. Courtney, I understand. Believe me, I get it. So, Tony, I leave you with this little electrifying parting gift, and hopefully you pull your head out of your ass. Crank the volume up to maximum and crank the voltage up to maximum. Screw it. I want to fry him anyway. Put him out of his misery. Well, I guess, Tony, I hope you got the point. So, my fellow inmates, before we get out of here, thank you for coming to the asylum. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Now, next week, what will the stories be? In the week of pro wrestling, who knows what I'll choose. But the next hallway of the asylum will be a wrestler's life. Who will I choose? I don't know. But I have a couple of ideas. Put them in the chat if you want. Or follow me on Twitter at Eric37Joker, just like it's spelled here on the screen. And give me your suggestions. And absolutely, Christy, Punk needs to get put in the chair for being an asshole. That gives me an idea. Next week in the electric chair, you, Philip Brooks, are getting electrocuted, and I'm going to enjoy every minute of it. So, yes, next week you will hit the electric chair, CM Punk. And I'm going to fry you and send you to hell. And then I might just steal your hot-ass wife while I'm at it.
What?
So with that, oh yes, I look forward to next week.
Jackass.
Absolutely. That is exactly what Philip Brooks is. It don't get. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Asylum. I'm glad you enjoyed your tour. Now tune in next week. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and stay notified. And don't forget, check out the OTTR Pod Mob family. Whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, but make sure you download. Ooh, she could be. Don't give me ideas. Thank you, Courtney, for joining me. That said, before we get out of here, one last thing that I want to say to you all. Tune in next week for a hell of a good ride. And don't forget to download the IWN mobile app to keep up with the entire Pod Mob family and OTTR podcast. Because if you don't, I, the Joker, Eric the Joka, will electrocute you in my chair, laughing while I do it. So, I'll see you next week. Welcome to my asylum. Let's have some fun. Until next time, kiddos, Mr. J bids you all adieu.